Okay, so some of you have asked how we candy citrus peels, so we're going to show you. And so we've got here some lemon peels. Do you want to pick one up for us there, Esther? Yeah, so we have some lemon peels already sliced up, and Esther's going to take that now and she's going to help my beautiful assistant Esther and handsome assistant Seth. Can you guys wave? Say hi. And Esther's going to dump that bowl of lemon peels into the pot. Yep. And I'm going to add this water. Just enough to cover them. And a little bit more so they're starting to float. Okay. And then we are going to boil this. And once it starts boiling, we are going to set the timer for 10 minutes. And we'll be back. So this has been boiling for 10 minutes. And what I'm going to do now is go ahead and turn the burner off. This process that we just finished is supposed to remove the tartness out of the peels. And it's also obviously going to soften up the peels. Now what we're going to go ahead and do now is drain this water and go on to the next step. I'm going to do an experiment because the first batch that I made, I found that the peels were just a little bit tart still, too much for my liking. And so what you can do as an option is to repeat this process before you go on to the next step. So you drain this water and put in some fresh water and boil it again for 10 minutes, which is what I'm going to do now. Okay, so this has been boiling now for 10 minutes. The second time, like I said I was going to do. We're going to go ahead now and drain this and go on to the next step. So for our next step, our beautiful assistant Esther is going to pour some water into the pot. That's the second cup of water. So for our little lot of peels that we have, we're going to do 2 cups of water and 2 cups of sugar. Equal amounts of water and sugar. Can you dump the sugar in there as well, Esther? Okay, and we're going to turn the heat up here and we're going to let that simmer for a while until about 10 minutes or so, until it makes a syrup. You'll see. So now that this is boiling, we're going to reduce the heat. Just let it simmer for a couple more minutes to make sure that all of the sugar is dissolved. Okay, so I was wrong when I said that this needed to boil for about 10 minutes. What we've done actually was that we just brought it to a boil. Okay, and then I reduced the heat just now, stirring it up just to make sure that all the sugar is dissolved. It looks like it has. So what we can do now is dump in our lemons that we previously boiled, our lemon peels. Okay. Make sure that they're all covered in our syrup. I'm going to turn the heat back up on this. Bring this to a boil, and then we will turn the heat down and let it simmer. For now, we'll just wait for it to boil again. So now that this has come to a boil, we're just going to reduce the heat a little bit and we're going to let this simmer. I have seen instructional videos of people say they do this for 10 minutes. I saw one video where a guy said to do it for 40 minutes to an hour. Personally, I found with the first batch that I made, that I let it simmer for 30 minutes and it was just perfect. So we'll come back here in a half hour and we'll see what it looks like. So a half hour is up and we can see that these are starting to turn translucent. They're very soft. They have been soaking up this sugar water. They probably could be pulled out right now, but I'm just going to let this sit here probably for about another 10 minutes, okay? But what you do want is you want to see them turning translucent like this and looking very sugary. We'll come back in 10 minutes. Okay, so what we have here now, these things are really the way I want to see them. Very translucent, very sugary, very soft. Okay, so we've turned the heat off. Just as a note, the syrup that's going to be left behind here, you're going to want to keep that. It is delicious. You can use it for many things. Use your own creativity, okay? But do not throw that out. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a utensil, something like this, okay, and we're going to remove these and we're going to put them on a drying rack. Okay, so we're going to take these, try not to make a dripping mess because they're going to be sticky. We're going to spread them out here on the drying rack. I'll finish that in a minute, but what I want to show you is that we're going to take the utensil and just kind of spread these out so that they can dry nice here. We want them all to dry a little bit before we do go to our next step. One video I saw, the lady said to let them sit here for an hour or so. I'm not sure if it's required to sit there that long, but in any case, let them dry on a drying rack and then we'll come back and we'll show you what to do next. So here's our candy that's been drying out on the rack, and as you can see, maybe it looks almost translucent, and they've all soaked up the sugar syrup that we had. So we're gonna go to our next step. Actually, before we do, I just want to show you, this here is the syrup that was left over in the pot. This is from 2 batches of these candied peels, and that syrup will get used. Who knows how we're going to use it, but we'll find out. It's a very sweet, tasty syrup that could be used maybe on pancakes or to make drinks or something like that. So we're going to go on to our next step. So our beautiful assistant Esther is going to show you now how to do the next step. So go ahead, Esther. She's going to take one of the peels and dip it into some sugar, and she's going to just move it around in there, make sure that all sides of it get coated in sugar. Give it a little bit of shake and put it in a bowl. And there you go. You have your candied citrus peels. Beautiful snack. Taste wonderful. Do they taste good, Esther?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to make them again sometime?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Bye.